Welcome back to Monday version of the Prop Shop. I am your host, Bobby Stanley, also known as PropHolliday on Twitter, rocking with the GoldBoys. You know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about LUKA as it's unfolded over the last 48 hours. I was on Visa in the last 2 days. I was able to talk about the trade last night, but you don't get a huge guest spot there. You get like a 10-minute slot, and then they want your pick. So I had about 5 minutes to talk there. I want to see if I can keep going because I don't want to say more information comes out, but we've just had more time to digest what the trade was. And essentially, it's Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis plus a first and Max Christie. The first is a 2029 unprotected. And I think the Lakers got back Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris. And the Danny Ainge jumped in last minute to grab 2 second-rounders and Jalen Hood-Schifino just to say he can have a hand in the deal. But apparently it came out today that he didn't know till like 30 minutes or before it was too late that the deal actually involved Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis. So hats off to Danny Ainge just for throwing his name in there. I still feel the same way I felt yesterday, and I'm not going to speak in hyperbole, but the short answer of this, the not, oh my God, pound the table, Mike the Mad Dog answer is, still doesn't make sense. Nobody understands why Nico Harrison, GM of the Dallas Mavericks, did it in this fashion. Let's play devil's advocate. It's easy to make fun of the Dallas Mavericks and say how dumb they are and how this is the worst trade ever and yada, yada, yada. That's been beat to nauseum for the last 2 days. Let's pretend like we understand Nico Harrison. You are fed up with Luka Doncic. You do not agree with his conditioning. You do not agree with his dedication. And it's no secret he doesn't play defense. And the way he kind of talks to the refs, it upsets some people how it's whining every single play. All of those things are wearing thin on you. So you need to get out of the Luka Doncic business before you pay him this supermax deal that will be $350 million as he heads to 26 years old this month. You have to be in the Luka Doncic business even if you don't like that. And the Luka Doncic business is you have to play this out. You have to go team to team and door to door and say, we are willing to part with Luka Doncic. What are you willing to offer? And in the mind of Nico Harrison, I think he saw my window is now. I still have Kyrie. I have Lively on a rookie deal. I have Gafford. I have PJ Washington. The West is weak. Outside of Oklahoma City, Houston's sitting in the 2 spot. Memphis is top 4 with no consistency from Ja Morant. Yes, the Lakers are a threat now, but and Denver will always be a threat as long as they have Jokic. But it's not as strong as we thought heading into the season. So the West is winnable. So if you're Nico Harrison, you go, I get Anthony Davis. I mimic what the Cleveland Cavaliers are doing. I have Lively, I have Gafford, and I have AD at my 4, and I still have a chance to win the West. And that makes you competitive in the short term, but you're still missing out on a top 3 player in the NBA. At worst, he's top 3. It's Jokic 1. You can toss it up between him and Giannis. Some people will say SGA. Boston people will say Tatum, but we all know at worst, he's 4, okay? Maybe you just prefer SGA because he's a little bit less of a whiner. But you don't just deal with one team. You certainly go down the gauntlet. If Giannis has been talking for the last year and a half, maybe I'd like to see what New York's like. Maybe I'd be willing to do this. I have to wait and see how the franchise plays out. You go and you knock on their door. And you say, what do you think of what would a Luka Giannis deal look like? They didn't have that conversation. If you go to Orlando, who have Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero, two young guys still on rookie deals, playing at an all NBA level this season specifically before the injuries, and you say, listen, you get to keep one of the two. You can keep one. We'll give you Luka. And then you work out the picks and the tertiary pieces. But they didn't even have those conversations. And if your concern is his commitment and his conditioning, which relates to availability, why would you go Anthony Davis, he's injured right now? He's not playing. It's gonna be put under a microscope for the next 10, 15 years throughout basketball history. More than the Trae Young Luka Doncic deal. For whatever reason, people are just overlooking Luka Doncic. I don't understand why. He's coming off his first finals appearance. He's been the MVP favorite the last 3 years heading into the season. That's how good he is. And he's not even 26 yet. Jason Kidd had no clue. Jason Kidd admitted in the press conference that he found out at the 11th hour. Literally, he had no say in it. And he looks like somebody shot his dog in front of him when he was at the press conference. Clearly, he doesn't agree with this. But seems like he's a company man, and he's going to keep moving forward. As it relates to sports betting, the Lakers are 18-1 on FanDuel to win the finals, to win it all. The Mavericks are 34-1. This isn't an either or scenario for me. The West is weak. Both of these teams, I would not say that the Mavericks are better. They're still competitive, and their odds got better. The Lakers are certainly better than they were 2 days ago. You have three guys who can initiate offense. You have three guys who can create a shot, and three guys who can knock a shot down in Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic. And you're now getting a motivated Luka Doncic. You have two wing defenders, which are extremely valuable when you're playing a team like the Thunder. You have Luka, who owns the Thunder in the postseason. Those two wing defenders could match up with Boston and Tatum Brown. I'm talking about Jared Vanderbilt and Dorian Finney-Smith. And they can, DFS can hit some open shots. They still need to make a move at center, but there's talks that it's Mitchell Robinson's now on the table, New York Knicks, Jakob Poeltl, Nick Claxton, possibly DeAndre Ayton if you're looking to spend. There's tons of rumors about will LeBron James waive his no trades clause to go to like the Golden State Warriors, who are beating down everyone's door to get Steph an All-Star, which little day late and a dollar short on that one, but no one's biting. I think if the Lakers stay as put and they move off a 2031 unprotected first, I would love to see them get Walker Kessler. That would be the reach of all reaches if they can get that one. But even if they land on a Nick Claxton, a Jakob Poeltl, Rob Williams, if they can get a rim protector to that lineup, how do you match up with them? How do you stop three guys who can initiate and create and get a shot off and hit an open shot? Not to mention you have probably the two computer chips of the NBA in LeBron James and Luka Doncic that will, this guy has a mismatch. That guy has a mismatch. We can exploit this. We can go there. They know the game at that level that not many do. I'd be shocked if it doesn't work out for LA at 18-1. And maybe LeBron plays Scottie Pippen. We've been talking about, I'm a LeBron fan. I make no bones about it. We've been talking about a guy to take the burden off of LeBron for the last 10 years. And it's kind of been Austin Reeves. Finally, JJ Redick said, we're going to run some stuff through you. We really saw it this season. And the results were positive. This is that on another level where LeBron can take nights off. He can take possessions off. He can take quarters off, and the offense won't dip. And then you're getting a fresher, better LeBron James. How it's going to work in crunch time, that will be interesting. But as far as the engagement and how it works and relates to a 40-year-old LeBron, I don't think it could be a better scenario for him. And the Lakers, they get to shape the next 10 to 15 years of their franchise around Luka Doncic. So win-win for them. Curious to see how the Mavericks I think Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis are going to gel. I'm not worried about that. Let's talk about tonight's slate. It's large and nothing really to write home about. There's a decent matchup tonight in the Rockets and Knicks. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but a lot of trash. Wizards and Hornets battle it out for the worst team in the NBA. It's a 5-point spread with the Wizards getting 5. I might take the Wizards getting 5 there, just the way it plays out. Hawks and Pistons. Hawks are down to Trae Young and no one else. DeAndre Hunter, but Pistons 4-point favorites. We talked about the Wizards. Rockets are plus 6.5. No Fred VanVleet tonight. against the Knicks. No OG Anunoby for the Knicks as well, which we'll talk how that impacts another guy out there. Kings, the new iteration of the Kings. At the moment, it's just going to be DeMar DeRozan. Levine is not playing tonight. I'm curious how Levine and DeRozan will shake out. That joke is Hardy Harden already played out, but the Kings are getting 5. I have a play in that game as well against the Timberwolves. Bucks. I I know Giannis is out. I'm pretty sure Middleton's out. Dame is questionable, if not out already. They're 16-point underdogs. There's no tertiary guys to bet on. Remember, we can't bet on two-way players anymore thanks to Jonte Porter. Um, I'm probably not even going to touch that game. 16-point spread in Oklahoma City. Spurs and Memphis, decent game. John Morant should play. Spurs are getting 3, but we don't have any other lines on any of the other guys besides, I think, Edie, Chris Paul, Wemby, and that's about it for right now. Pelicans and Nuggets, 10-point spread over there. I do have a play in that one. Pacers, Jazz, meh. Suns and Trailblazers. Trailblazers getting +5. Suns are rumored to be shopping Kevin Durant again. There are talks that the Warriors desperately want to put together a LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant Warriors. I doubt that happens, but it'd be fun to watch for one season before it gets blown up. And then we close out with the Orlando Magic getting 3 against the Golden State Warriors that we've been talking about. Paolo Banchero has been crushing me, man. I've been hammering his points the last 3-4 games. The volume's there. I think he went 2 of 18 on Saturday. Like it's fucking hard to go 2 of 18 in the NBA, especially if you're getting 18 shots. But talking about my first play tonight, it's over in that Utah Jazz Indiana Pacers game. Not a full unit here, but 3/4 of a unit, 0.75. I got Walker Kessler's double at +140. The point line is set at 9.5 with a great scoring matchup against the Pacers, ranked 23rd in the NBA in defending the restricted area. Kessler is a putback master. Jalen Duran, similar style of play. 14 and 17 points against this Pacers team. And the rebounding line is set at 10.5. He's had 10 plus rebounds in 70% of games this season. So I brought the unit size down to about 3/4 of a unit. And I got his double at +140. So Walker Kessler right out of the gate. Going over to Aaron Gordon, Denver Nuggets, over 12.5 points, -130. I'd still play this at 13.5. I did like the 12.5 number. I paid the juice for it. I didn't mind it there. His minutes restriction is gone. He's played 30 plus in 3 straight games. That's a great sign. Scores 51% of his points in the restricted area. Pelicans ranked 29th overall defensively in that spot. They're also 28th in transition. And if you're getting to play Zion, Aaron Gordon's one of the few guys in the NBA where you can throw him at Zion and not need as much help. You're still going to need help, but if you put a normal forward front court guy on Zion, he's getting dog walked. Aaron Gordon won't do that. So I do think his minutes, barring foul trouble, should be about 30 plus. When he plays 30 plus minutes this season, he hits this mark in 8 of 13 games. So give me Aaron Gordon over 12.5. Drink the juice there. If not, play 13.5. Keep it at like -105 if you can. If you get plus money, awesome. Been doing a lot more betting on DraftKings. We've been getting this 3-pack of boosts every night. I'm loving it. So I got a little bit more money in DraftKings than usual. They're making it easy to start betting. Bet $5. You'll get 150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. It's that simple. Click the link in our episode description to get started today. Must be 21 plus, 18 plus in Kentucky or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Sorry about that, guys. It's I had to explain to my uncle what liquid death was. He thought I walked into my cousin's house just slugging a beer fresh out of the car. No, it's just water. My last 2 plays are probably my 2 favorite of the night, and I spaced them that way. And ironically or unironically, they are the same exact point total. DeMar DeRozan, Sacramento Kings, the new look Sacramento Kings, because De'Aaron Fox is now a member of the San Antonio Spurs, and they got Zach LaVine in return. DeMar DeRozan, over 23.5 points +102. This line opened at 22.5, and it got bet all the way up. I went 1 unit on DeRozan. I also did his full points ladder. I went 25 plus and 30 plus. 3 games this season without Fox in the lineup. DeRozan goes for 12, 30, and 24. The latter 2, he shot the ball 26 times in each of those games. Conservatively, let's bring that number down to 20. So 20 field goal attempts. I feel good about that with the offense running through him. I don't think this is a Sabonis matchup playing that Minnesota team. Minnesota They rank 8th in restricted area scored and 10th in defending pick and roll man. It's not a Sabonis game. So I think the offense rolls through DeMar DeRozan. When he shoots 20 field goal attempts in a game, he hits this line in 10 of 11 games. And he shot 26 plus in the last 2 games without De'Aaron Fox. Devin Booker had 28. Garland had 29. Cunningham had 40. SGA had 40. And then back on October 24th, essentially the start of the season, DeRozan had 26 against Minnesota. I don't think it's a Sabonis game. I do think we get a lot of volume out of DeRozan, who's probably realizing there's maybe 1, maybe 2 more games without LaVine before he loses all those shots. Let him get his shots up tonight, 23.5, even though it's inflated. His normal line is anywhere from 19.5 to 21.5. I think the amount of field goal attempts he's going to get tonight is going to outpace that. So give me 23 over 23.5 and sprinkle on 25 plus and 30 plus. Go half unit, quarter of unit on those two. Other play I love tonight is at 23.5 points. It's Karl Anthony Towns, New York Knicks, over 23.5 points. I just went 1 unit here. Houston on paper looks like a tough matchup, but OG Anunoby's out of the lineup. And I went to PBP stats to check this. Whose usage increases the most when OG's off the floor? Karl Anthony Towns goes up by 5 points. His points when OG is off the floor are the highest of anyone on the team. He scores plus 9.6 more points per possession with OG off the floor. I think Cat could go off tonight. So 23.5. It's the total. I think at Brunson's at like 27.5 with the juice to the under. I like Cat tonight. I think Karl Anthony Towns over 23.5 is the move. So DeRozan over 23.5, Karl Anthony Towns over 23.5. I didn't ladder Karl Anthony Towns, but I might when the show's wrapped up. I do have a parlay with him that I'll share in a minute. But first, let me hear a couple words from my boy Brad.
Wait, before we get back to the picks, I wanted to thank you all for watching. Friends don't let friends watch videos without hitting the like button. So go ahead and press the thumbs up button and like the video. If you're new here and not subscribed, you should go ahead and do so because we're dropping new content each and every day on the GoldBoys Network. We strive to cover every sport and give out picks and analysis and valuable information for free on the GoldBoys Network. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop something new. I'm Brad Thomas. Let's get back to the picks.
Before we go into tonight's lotto fun, a couple updates from Underdog NBA. Anthony Davis, trade pending, listed questionable for Tuesday's game. Davis is dealing with a strained abdominal and was slated to be reevaluated in a couple days. I wouldn't expect AD to be playing right out of the gate, maybe another week. Maybe they push it to All-Star break. I don't know. The All-Star break usually lands around Valentine's Day. I haven't checked the exact date. PJ Washington not on the injury report for Tuesday's game. Daniel Gafford not on the injury report. Kyrie not on the injury report. So I'd be interested to see how they all come out. They pretty much sat everybody in yesterday's game. It was a blowout. They were down like 90-something at 40-something at half. It was pathetic against the Cavaliers. So Aaron Gordon is questionable for Monday. If he's out, it voids. I like him. I think he's going to play. It's injury management. It's not specific to an exact injury. It's just injury management for Gordon. But he's questionable tonight. I still like it. My lotto, there's not a lot out there at the moment. There's not a lot out there, despite all the games tonight, because there's so many injuries and there's so much uncertainty. I kind of just went safe. I went DeMar DeRozan 25 plus, Karl Anthony Towns 25 plus. I got plus 360 or plus 362 to be exact. Instead of going, I went 1 unit on this. I really love these two guys tonight. If it bites me in the ass, it bites me in the ass. I normally don't put 1 unit on parlays. I got these two alt lines at over 3.5 to 1. And I think these are spots that the books are misvaluing. DeRozan, because of his volume without De'Aaron Fox, and Karl Anthony Towns because of his scoring with OG. OG hasn't missed a game all season. So it's the only thing we can go off of is on-off stats, and I don't think the books are going that far into detail. So Karl Anthony Towns over 23.5 is a great spot. I'm parlaying both 25 plus. Guys, we will be back Thursday. The trade deadline is the 6th, I believe. Let me pull the trade deadline NBA. February 6th at 3 p.m. So I will have a show Thursday. The trade deadline will be over. We'll be able to discuss any last minute trades that evening at the top of the show. There's a couple more guys that need to be moved. Is it Jimmy Butler? Is it Bradley Beal? I wouldn't be shocked to see a couple other smaller names make bigger impacts. With all the hype being around Luka and Jimmy Butler and Bradley Beal, and who can we get? Steph Curry and Kevin Durant's now on the block. That's going to grab the headlines. Some team's going to grab a Jordan Poole, and it's really going to pay dividends in April. A contender grabs like a Jordan Poole and turns him into a six man. That will pay dividends. Those are the things I'm excited for at the end of the deadline. Thank you guys for tuning in. And at Thursday's show, we'll start talking some Super Bowl. So best of luck. Take care.